Good afternoon. I call this special council, pre-closed council meeting Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024, 1 p.m. to order and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Staheles. The recommendation is that pursuant to section 90 and 92 of the community charter, the special meeting of council be closed to the public as the subject matter being considered relates to the following. Section 90-1-A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. Section 90-1-E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements, if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality. And finally, section 90-2-B, the consideration of information received and held in confidence relating to negotiations between the municipality and a provincial government or the federal government or both, or between the provincial government or the federal government or both and a third party. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Jackson. Any discussion? Call the question. Sorry, discussion. Councillor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm just a little concerned about the introduction of late items on the in-camera agenda. I don't like to be ambushed, and I hope that any late items that are brought forward today really do have some urgency or new information rather than just something that's brought up to surprise at least one councillor. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Nobody opposed? No, nobody opposed. Passes unanimously. Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is introduction of late items.
Some late items. Let's see. I have a request from Councillor Facio regarding a resolution for council considering to continue using, or sorry, to continue the meetings at the village office. So that requires a resolution for new business. Do I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Vidal.
Point of order, Mayor Wood. I believe we're still in the pre-closed council meeting. I believe that if any late items should be added, they should be added once we move into closed. Thank you.
Your point of order is overruled. Thank you. So do I have a mover for the motion?
Just for clarification, Mr. Mayor, the meeting is now closed, and it was closed when we passed that first resolution to exclude the public. Is that correct?
We are still in an open meeting.
Sorry?
We are still in an open meeting.
Oh, we're still in an open meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Was
Did I have a move? Did you move that, Councillor Facio? So moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Allen. Discussion on this?
sorry, could I have the motion restated, Mr. Mayor, please?
Well, the motion right now is, it's an introduction of a late item. So the motion, which was from Councillor Facio, was for council to consider the continuing use of meetings at the village office. Hopefully I said that right. But that requires a resolution of council to include it on the agenda. So right now it is seeking approval to have this on the agenda. So it was moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Allen, by Councillor Jackson. So this is just discussion, just to allow this to be on the meeting. Councillor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm opposed to that. I don't think that qualifies as something that has come up just now or there's any urgency. And it's not new information. It's Councillor Facio's position from before. So I would oppose adding that to the agenda. And if I get to speak to that motion, I will speak against the move of the in-camera meetings back to the village office. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? So the motion on the table here is to refer this to and I'm not sure where to put this on the agenda here. I would assume that that would be after the introduction of late items. Go ahead.
We could approve the agenda, and then after that, we could add new business to the agenda if council resolves to do so.
So this is, again, this is to move this to new business. And it was moved by Councillor Facio and seconded by Councillor Jackson. And no further discussion on that. I'm going to call the question. All in favor?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. I don't see new business on the pink sheet agenda or on the white sheet agenda. We don't have a new business item.
This is to actually add this. So this is a motion now to add this as new business in the agenda. So that would be created. So I call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes with Councillor Allen and the mayor opposed. So, sorry, I also had which will require a resolution also to add it to new business. And this is from Councillor Facio, which is alleging a policy social media breach and bullying breach against elected Councillor Allen. Do I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Jackson. Discussion on that. And this is just to include it as new business.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Allen.
This is exactly the kind of ambush resolution that I was trying to warn the council about. It is totally unfair to come to a meeting and to be ambushed by a surprise hostile resolution such as this from the three councillors. It's contrary to all the rules of proper protocol in conducting a meeting. And I believe that it's completely out of order and ought not to be considered. If Councillor Facio and Councillor Vidal and Councillor Jackson have some accusations to make against me, there is a proper process for doing that. And I believe that is a complaint to you as Mayor and Chief Executive Officer. As far as I know, that has not happened. So they seem to be intent on working outside the rule of law, outside normal protocol, outside of our policies and procedures and bylaws, and launching another attack on me as a surprise attack. I think it's reprehensible that they should do this, and I don't think it's in order that it should be included in this agenda today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Facio.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. I believe I did inform you via email regarding this. Am I correct?
That is correct. That's why I read
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. Further discussion? No, call. So the motion on the table is just to add this as new business. So it was moved and seconded.
Mr. Mayor, can I state my objection again? The rules of natural justice apply. If I'm going to be accused of something, I'm entitled to know what the accusations are, where they're coming from, and what the evidence is. This is a kangaroo court and ought not to be countenanced by this council. It's a miscarriage of justice, Mr. Mayor, to proceed with this today, surprising me as the victim of the attack without giving me due process. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, the question, I'm going to call the question, and the motion on the table is just to add this as new business. And call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Opposed.
Opposed, Mr. Mayor.
Motion passes with Counselor Allen and the mayor opposed.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Since we're still in open session,
Correct.
is that being added to the white page agenda, the open meeting? Because we haven't closed the meeting yet, apparently.
That's correct.
So it's going to happen immediately, I suppose, then, before we close the meeting?
It will happen in this open meeting, correct?
Sorry?
It will happen in this open meeting, correct? Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is approval of the agenda.
Do I have approval of the agenda as amended? Moved by Counselor Bidell, seconded by Counselor Jackson. Discussion on the approval of the agenda. Counselor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'll take this opportunity to once again object to the inclusion of this reprehensible attack on me by the councillors at this time. This is unconscionable to surprise me and ambush me with this without any preparation. It ought not to be included in the agenda, and I object to it being included. Thank you.
Thank you. So the approval, any further discussion on that? Discussion, approval of the agenda as amended. It was moved by Counselor Bidell, seconded by Counselor Jackson. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Passes.
Opposed, Mr. Mayor.
Passes with Counselor Allen and the mayor opposed. Next order of business then.
The next order of business would be new business. Item 1 would be the location of in-camera meetings.
Counselor Facio. Your motion then?
I wish to discuss this in a closed meeting. Mayor Wood.
The motion was, the motion was passed to add this to new business. So this is new business.
But I wish to discuss this in the closed meeting.
So you're withdrawing your motion?
No, I wish to discuss in the closed meeting. I think I'm entitled to have a vote, to have council vote on that.
So this was just moved, the resolution passed, that this item be discussed under new business in this open meeting. That was passed. That's the resolution. If you're asking Councillor Facio to remove your motion,
Come in.
order please. Are you asking me to remove that, Councillor?
No, Mayor Wood, I'm not asking you to remove it. I just,
So
I was anticipating this was going to go into the closed meeting.
well, there has to be a motion on the table before we have discussion on it. So are you withdrawing your motion, Councillor Facio?
No, Mayor Wood.
Okay, so your motion, can you please state your motion?
Okay. In regards to policy 132, I'll read it out if I may.
Just 1 second, Councillor Facio. I think you've got the second one.
Oh,
Which is,
sorry, which one am I doing here?
the first one was to do with the,
Memorial Hall?
yes.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mayor Wood. Sorry. Yes, I believe that is a perfect example this morning of having to set up this large hall with all the chairs and all this extra work unnecessarily when since the 80s, we've used the village office for many closed meetings. And we've never had any reaction from the staff that people have been complaining about listening from the outside or picking up information. I don't see why we would have to change course and meet here unnecessarily. The village office is already set up for this without setting all this up just for one standalone meeting. So my motion is to move this for that in the all future closed meetings should be carried out at the village office chambers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to rule that out of order. It is under the community charter, it is the mayor's responsibility to call any such special meetings, and that is the mayor's privilege. Again, under the community charter and under our council procedural bylaw. So proceed to your next motion, please, Councillor Facio.
Regarding the breach of section 132 of our social media policy, mayor and councillors are prohibited from posting derogatory, defamatory, discriminatory, indecent, obscene, or false comments about the village, its work, and any persons associated with the employed by the village of Harrison Hot Springs, elected officials, and or boards, even if such persons are not directly identified, as these posts can cause damage to the village's reputation or council's reputation and relationships with other agencies, partners, and public it serves. And since Councillor Allen was voted in the by-election, there's been a continuous stream of accusations, defamatory comments, even as of this morning, in regards to our staff doing illegal auctions. This has been going on the Facebook news and views. And I find it, and of course, when you have comments of a councillor receiving more money than an MLA, it just becomes ridiculous. You're trying to accuse them of getting, each councillor here receives the same amount of money. And it's just, we all receive the same amount every month, plus our expenses, which we don't get. We use them when we go to conferences. So as far as the regional district is concerned and the village, my total between the two for the after taxes is $27,800, not $100,000. This is what I'm making reference to the false accusations that are on Facebook. And I've got the writings here in front of me. I've got this whole, which I'm not going to read out, page book of.
Order, Councillor. Councillor, it's the motion on the table. We haven't got to debate yet. So the motion on the table, Councillor Facio.
A motion on the table is that I find that Councillor Allen's comments on the social media Facebook is harming this village and has brought derogatory comments against not just councillors, but the public and staff. And I find that very disturbing. And it doesn't help the village one little bit that this is ongoing, continuous, not once a week, twice a week, just ongoing. As I say, as of this morning, another one. I've just got a few here of these comments. I don't have them all.
Order, please. Councillor Facio, I'm going to call you out of order. Sir, you are supposed to read your motion. So I'm going to rule your motion out of order here. You did not follow the council procedural bylaw. We start with a motion, then we get into discussion. It was inappropriate to have the discussion before the motion was placed. Again, I rule it out of order, and I also believe that the complaint is meritless. And I also believe that you did not follow the process correctly. If you have a conflict with a councillor, then it comes to the mayor. I asked you for specifics and you've supplied absolutely no specifics. You can't expect to make an accusation. You can't expect a councillor to come and have to try to defend himself with accusations that you're making. There's a whole process. Procedural fairness has to be followed. I asked you for written complaint. You said that you did not have any written complaint on that part of it. And Councillor Facio, those actions, you're continuously bringing these actions forward, totally meritless, without any actual specific claims that can be investigated. These, in my opinion, appear to be very vexatious against Counselor Allen, and I don't want to, I have nothing further to say on that. Next order of business.
Mr. Mayor, you asked me, was I bullying him? I replied to you, I was not bullying.
Counselor.
You get the
Councillor
correct
Facio-
facts out to the public,
Counselor
please.
Facio, I'm speaking. Next order of business.
Your worship,
please.
where's the fairness here?
Next-
Where's the fairness?
Counselor Facio.
You just pull everything off that suits you.
Counselor Facio.
Council has voted on this. We
Counselor
follow the council resolution, sir.
Counselor Facio, you're out of order, please. Next order of business, please.
Worship, just a second. I want to speak.
Order, please.
I'd like to speak, please.
Order, please.
I would like to speak.
The order,
No, just a second. For fairness, just a second here.
we're not here, there's no
No.
debate.
Okay, so
It
no,
was
no,
ruled-
I'm not
Counselor-
talking,
Counselor Jackson, it was
I'm
ruled
not
out.
speaking to him.
Counselor
I'm asking
Jackson,
you a question.
Counselor Jackson,
not-
I'm speaking, it was ruled
I
out
would
of
like to
order.
ask you a question.
Counselor Jackson, you do not have the floor, it was ruled out of order. Next order of business, please.
No, there's no.
Counselor
There's no-
Facio. Counselor Facio,
Just get on with the
next order
agenda,
of
please.
business, please.
The next order of business would be to adjourn to the special closed council meeting.
I'm gonna just correct you. I think we have adoption of sorry. Yes, I'm looking at the second agenda. We have two agendas in front of me. Thank you. So the approval, I'm sorry, could you help me on that again, please?
Sorry, no problem. It's adjourned to special closed council meeting.
So yes,
So that the
Yes, okay, yeah.
special pre-closed council meeting,
yes. So adjournment to a special closed council meeting, moved by Counselor Vidal, seconded by Counselor Jackson. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passes with the mayor opposed. So we are adjourned. 1:22.